And what's up, everybody? Welcome to another Juice Opinions. And yeah, I'm not gonna talk break down the direct mini like a lot of people have. I was just checking out Meza T's video. If you want a rundown of the mini direct, I recommend going doing that. If you're watching this live, though, I guess stay tuned. I'm gonna cover people of all angles at this. I'm gonna reactions to the direct, anger, outrage over the direct, anger, outrage over Wii U ports or more Wii U ports. Give my feelings on how the first 5 months of the Switch's 2018 lineups looking, and anything else that comes to mind. So the title is a little bit clickbaity, if you will. So I wanted to get people in because, first of all, I have to admit, I was totally wrong on Wednesday, the 10th. I was on Nintendo Fangirls tweet about, looks like there's not going to be a direct. There's a bunch of people saying, well, so and so said there was going to be one. And I was like, dude, they don't ever wait this long to announce a major direct. I said, we usually get 2 days notice. And I go, oh, no, we got the Animal Crossing mobile game director and this direct and this direct. And I was like, no, that was a mobile game. That was I forget what the other situations were. They were just weird little one-offs, single game directs. And I didn't even think about the potential for a mini. So where I was, I still feel I was accurate saying a major direct, we get at least 2 days notice. I was wrong when I was just basically put all my chips on the table. I'm all in. And I said, there won't be a direct tomorrow. And remember the people that predicted there was one, remember their names because when there isn't one, I want you guys to not trust these people again. Well, I had completely forgotten about that damn EA email leak. Whether you never can believe everything, you never always 100% believe stuff like that. But I completely forgot about that. That's basically where the date had kind of come from. So I was wrong on a lot of fronts there. I still think that a mainline direct, we're going to get at least 2 days notice. I still think that's an accurate statement. And but as far as like it being a direct mini, I don't think anybody saw that coming. And I will say, I don't think this is the direct people were expecting. So let's get into the outrage over the direct. So let me ask you a question. Are you mad that it's a direct mini, or are you mad at what was in the direct? That's the first question, because as soon as I saw it was a mini, my expectations they went way down. I wasn't expecting much. I've been a Nintendo fan long enough. The Wii U generation, I think, is when we first saw the mini directs. They're never bombshells. I think that's where we learned about Ryu and Smash, even though that was leaked. I think that was a mini direct, if I'm not mistaken. Usually it was a bunch of minor 3DS games. You guys might remember 2015. We had a mini direct in late May, early June, and we're like, oh, Nintendo's just getting all their minor stuff out of the way. They got some big announcements for E3 2015. Meza T, he remembers that because we had our post E3 2015 podcast, the most defeated I've ever heard myself and Meza T in a video. But so are you mad because it was a mini? I guess I could understand you being disappointed that the first direct of the year wasn't, dropping bombs. But as soon as it's a mini, it's your fault. Either you're just ignorant and you haven't been a Nintendo fan long enough. You just jumped on board with the Switch. You didn't know what that mini title meant. There's still some, a couple cool things in the mini. I'm not going to break it down. I will say I thought, while most of the stuff didn't apply to me, I thought it was a really well done direct. How quickly they went through everything. It was just no nonsense. No Koizumi, no fucking Bill Trinan, no Reggie. That's how you know that this is not major announcements. So if you're mad about what was in the Direct, that's your fault, because you don't know what a Direct Mini is, and you don't understand what Nintendo was trying to do. Again, you could be disappointed that it was a mini and that you were hoping for the first one to be, a day before the year anniversary of the Switch event. You could have been expecting major stuff, and Nintendo just kind of laying out their plans. That's kind of what I was expecting. But if you watch Nintendo Life's video, and I already had knew this to myself, I was thinking, well, mini directs, we get those. Sometimes we get a direct the next month, so it doesn't mean that we're not getting another direct till April, so I would not be surprised that the investors meeting briefing is the 29th of February. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a direct even still in January, right before then, or early February, right after the briefing. I would not be surprised at all. I'm not going to say get your hopes up, but I would not be surprised at all if we get a main direct, Koizumi, everything, heavy hitters, dropping bombs type of direct, still in under, I'd say, a month from today. So again, this is January 12th, 2018, this video I'm making this. So in a couple weeks, some of this could really be basically irrelevant, if they have a major direct. So again, I'm sorry if you're mad that it was a mini. The other part of this is if your expectations from rumors had you up here, and then you see a direct mini and you're just pissed off because you got hyped up over rumors and speculation, guess what? That's 100% on you for believing rumors, for being thirsty and hyped for stuff that people just fucking make up. I mean, that's 100% on you. I don't know how it would break down. Is it a bunch of new Nintendo fans that have a Switch that skipped Wii U, GameCube, have a Switch now, or is it more the Wii, the people that have been through the trenches, the Wii, people that really like the Wii and played the vast library of great games, not just, Wii Sports, and then the people that had the Wii U. I don't know, what it breaks down, what groups are falling to what category. I just know there's a bunch of people crying, and a lot of it was expectations from rumors and leaked, from trusted sources, BS. That's on you. That's not Nintendo's fault. The Monday's podcast, because I was not expecting this direct, even though it's still a direct mini, there wasn't much to talk about. But the main topic of Monday's podcast was going to be, and it might still be, rumors and leaks, the danger of letting those get your expectations up really high. I mean, that fake video, potentially fake. I'm not, 100% one way or the other on that update 5.0. There's a few things about that video, obviously, that make it look fake, and then, but then it's just so well done. But once I seen that, and once people see that, then if Nintendo shows you the update, the next update, or if they just release it and it doesn't have that stuff, it doesn't matter, how aware you are of everything going on, you still could be disappointed because of some fake video you've seen. So, I mean, it's partly subconscious human nature stuff you can't really do anything about, but then the rest of it, especially for this direct, for the people that were just like, oh my God, it's ridiculous. You had your expectations based upon what? Nothing Nintendo said. So, and then the other side of this is the Wii U owners that have Switches that are now really pissed. And, there's a girl who commented on the last podcast after watching the mini, or didn't even watch the mini direct, finding out there was more Wii U ports. She left a super long rant, and I tried to calm her down and talk some sense. And, I got Hyrule Warriors. I got Bayonetta 1 and 2. I got Tropical Freeze. It's digital, so I can't show the game case. One of her other points was some of these other third-party games. I got Rayman Legends. So I want to talk about this, and this might get the meat of this whole discussion might be about this. You had a Wii U. Whether you did or didn't, but let's say people that had a Wii U, you have a Switch now, and you watch that Direct Mini, combined it with, you know, the Bayonetta announcement at the Game Awards and the 2 Wii U ports from Nintendo we got last year. I didn't say it yet. Third-party multiplats getting ported to the Switch that were also on the Wii U, that doesn't count. You can't be mad at that. That happens on PS4, Xbox One, happened on PS3, PS2, happened on, you know, every freaking system. That's not Nintendo's fault that Rayman Legends is on the Switch and it was on the Wii U. That's Lego City Undercover. That's WB Games. That has nothing to do with Nintendo that game is now on the Switch. And somehow to a group of people that somehow lessens the Wii U's like great library of games, you know, 5 years later, and that somehow makes the Switch a regretful purchase. Like, I seen somebody in Clocket's video. I was going to get the Switch, but it's just a port station now. I'm going to buy a PS4. The PS4 is not any better. It's been out for 4 years. Yeah, maybe it has more exclusive games. I don't know what the total is, like, that you're interested in or something. But as far as the ports go, third-party ports, I mean, Dark Souls, we're getting Dark Souls on the Switch. Well, they got Dark Souls 2 on the PS4. They had you know, just a ton of third-party games ported. So that's not on Nintendo for those third-party games. So I'm going to focus on the Nintendo games. And I'm going to say it. I said it a bunch of times. I had a tweet about it. A bunch of people liked it. Ports are not a problem if there are a bunch of new games to play on that system as well. So last year, we had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Pokken Tournament. To me, Pokken Tournament it was so late in the Wii U's life, it doesn't even matter. Like, you could say, well, that one came out so much quicker, you know, they should port older games from the Wii, from the GameCube, whatever. Pokken came out late in the Wii U's life. The system was dead, dying, and, you know, not even on life support. They were pulling the plug. I had never had a problem with Pokken. I never bought it. But anyway, so you had those 2 ports from Nintendo. Don't even try to put Breath of the Wild into this conversation. Breath of the Wild is a cross-gen game, released simultaneously on Wii U and Switch. If you think that should have just been a Wii U only title, then there's no talking sense to you. That would have been the worst fate to put one of the best game ever made. You're going to put it on this console that's dead and forget your new console. That doesn't even make any freaking sense at all. So Breath of the Wild to me does not count as a Wii U port. Yeah, it's a Wii U game. You can play it on the Wii U. It makes the Wii U's library even that much better, but it also makes the Switch's library that much better. So you got Mario Kart 8, you got Pokken. To counter those, you got Breath of the Wild. You got a Bomberman R, you know, from a third party, but then you got ARMS, you get Splatoon 2, you get Fire Emblem Warriors, you get Mario Kart Odyssey, you get Xenoblade Chronicles 2, all from, you know, Nintendo. Mario plus Rabbids from Ubisoft. I think they published and developed it. SteamWorld Dig 2, Snake Pass, Yooka-Laylee. You got all these new games, all these 2017 games where I had trouble deciding like what my top 5 were, because there was about at least 9 candidates from the Switch that I was debating. And 2 Wii U ports from Nintendo versus all those new games, all those new indie games, some third-party indie, you know, new games, and Nintendo's first party. So no one was complaining then, all right? And the thing is, like I showed you, you know, these are coming out this year on the Switch. Guess what? I don't have to buy them. They don't affect me at all. They don't diminish the Wii U's library. I played this 3.5 years ago. Played this 3.5 years ago. By the time the new one comes out, it'll be almost 4 years. Doesn't change the fact that I love the Wii U. The library was great. I had a bunch of great games, great experiences. Those games coming out of the Switch does not change. For the one person that was saying it diminishes the Wii U's legacy, doesn't change how great the Wii U was for me, how much fun I had, how many thousands of hours I played these games. But the fact that they're coming to the Switch now, the 2018 lineup right now doesn't have that huge ratio of new versus the ports. So let's talk about that. Right now, we know Kirby is coming in the first half for sure. Mario Tennis Aces, which looks like a pretty solid entry if that has online with a good friends lobby. That's, I mean, to me, that's a day one purchase. And then you have, what was the other new game we know about for the Switch? That's for sure the first half of the year. I know Octopath Traveler is up in the air. I know I'm forgetting one. Somebody help me in the chat. It's Kirby, Mario Tennis, and there's one other one. And I can't think of it. I know Wolfenstein 2 potentially could come out, but we're talking about ones we know for sure. So the reverse of that is Bayonetta 1 and 2. That's one game. This is one game. It's a collection. It's on two discs in here. It's going to be one cart and then downloading on the Switch. That's one game. Hyrule Warriors, probably the most unnecessary port of all time, in my opinion, even though you do get all the 3DS content, so I'll take that away. Yoshi, we don't know Yoshi's coming in the first half. I'm talking mainly about the first half. Payday 2 is an older game, but so we're getting Bayonetta 1 and 2, Hyrule Warriors, and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I have all those games on Wii U, and I'm not mad, even though right now the counter is, the counter to those, the balance it, is just Mario Tennis and Kirby at this point for 100% certain from Nintendo. So yeah, the ratio's off right now. But let me say this and listen really close, especially if you're somebody mad and you're typing a reply right now. Nintendo plans on selling 20 million Switches from March 3rd, March 2018. Actually, is it April? I think it's April 1st, 2018 to March 31st, 2019. They plan on selling 20 million Switch consoles. I'm guessing they're not going to reduce the price, $299. You think that their plan to sell 20 million is because of these two games and Donkey Kong Country, and then a couple lower tier middleware type Nintendo games like Mario Tennis? Kirby's not a huge seller. You think they're gonna sell 20 million on Wii U ports and some third-party ports? Are you kidding me? Like, you gotta be just completely ignorant to that fact if you think that's how Nintendo is going to achieve 20 million. They got something up their sleeve. I have no doubt. As soon as I saw that was their goal, I have no doubt. Now, we don't know of these games, so I don't know which games there. I know Yoshi's a 2018 game. I don't know if it's a first half game. Octopath Traveler could be. We don't know. But so when I said Switch lineup looking bleak, it is if you talk about what you know from now until May coming to the Switch, especially as a Wii U owner, it looks bleak from Nintendo. From Nintendo's standpoint, from their game standpoint. There's going to be a ton of indies. There's already like Runner 3. There's a couple other like Hollow Knight or whatever. There's a couple really good looking indie games coming, we know, in 2018. Wolfenstein 2, for all we know, is still planned. Even though that didn't sell great, you can get it for $40 on PS4 right now, which I might pick it up. But that's all we know about. So if you judge it on what we know, then yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest lineup of games for 2018. It's doesn't even come close to 2017's first half. But if you don't have faith in Nintendo, you don't believe that they got a better plan than that, then that's on you. There's going to be a major direct. If it's not in January, if it's not in February, it'll be no later than March. And then you got E3. Nintendo's got a lot of things up their sleeve. Look at how they planned out the first 10 months of the Switch. They went quiet for almost all of 2016. They had a plan. If you don't think they have a plan for 2018, I'm sorry. That's just ignorant, and that's on you. And I'll probably be like, I told you so when that next major direct comes out and everybody's happy again because you might see Travis Touchdown gameplay, you might see Bayonetta 3 gameplay, you might see a little Metroid Prime 4 teaser, you might see Pokemon Switch, Fire Emblem for Switch, you might see Shin Megami Tensei 5 for Switch, Dragon Quest 11 release date. I mean, there's so many potential things they could show, plus things I'm not even thinking of. I mean, that Yoshi game looks amazing. That'll probably be shown the next time we see a major direct with the title. Nintendo could go and really pull something with a, I don't know, like for me, it'd be exciting, like a wave race type, that level type of game, Excite Bike, type level with a new entry in F-Zero or something. Retro, whatever Retro's working on. It ain't Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the Switch. So, they got something they're working on. I'd be happy with Tropical Freeze 2 or Donkey Kong Country, 3 for the, considering returns as the first one, Tropical Freeze 2. I would be happy with that, but there's just so many things they could do. And I really think there isn't going to be a Smash port. It's going to be Super Smash Bros. 5. I just don't see them doing what they did with 4, which is basically take most of the assets from the Wii version. The new characters and the new stages in Smash 4 look phenomenal compared to the old characters and the returning stages from the Wii, from Brawl. Like, you could tell that, certain characters is just kind of dropped and dragged from Brawl. And I think this one's going to be a more from the ground up, fleshed out type of game. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, and I have no problem saying that, but that's what I expect. So hold your horses. It's January 12th, 2018, and you're already throwing in the towel for the Switch, for the lineup, and angry at your purchase and stuff. If you weren't happy with the games we got in 2017, there's nothing coming in 2018 is going to make you happy. I'm just going to tell you that right now, unless you were a 3DS, DS handheld person and you're just waiting for that Pokemon game. If this little Direct Mini can throw you off and make you doubt the Switch and Nintendo and all that off of that mini Direct, that one little misstep, in people's eyes, then you just overact. You must be somebody who overacts everything. Like, how can your faith in Nintendo after that first 10 months be just snuffed out that quickly by a Direct Mini? But again, I'm not thrilled about all these ports. Dark Souls Remastered, I mean, I could have played that game. I played Demon Souls. Could have played all these games. I do want to talk about the Nintendo haters calling out Dark Souls Remastered. Oh, it's only 30 frames per second on the Switch. Guess what? Dark Souls has always been 30 frames per second on consoles. Yeah, it runs at 60 on the PS4 and Xbox One because they can just brute force it with power. But Skyrim's on the Switch, runs at 30. That's a PS3, Xbox 360 game. LA Noire is a PS3 game. That runs at 30 on the Switch. Why is it Dark Souls is so upsetting to people? It's 30. That's a 30 frames per second game until you get to PC. They had 60 frames per second options. Dark Souls 3 is 30 frames per second on the PS4. So Dark Souls on the Switch, oh my God, it's only 30. It's like, come on, shut the hell up. The Switch isn't a big old box. Like, it's this big. It's the size of this, If you haven't figured out what the Switch is capable of at this point, after Doom, after Skyrim, after LA Noire, if you haven't come to terms with what the Switch can do power-wise, I'm sorry. You must just be a PC master race fanboy of Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo hater, because I've come to terms with it. Doom showed me what current gen games, what we can expect. Maybe they'll improve slightly, but don't expect 60 frames per second. Even if it was a PS3, Xbox 360 game, if it was originally 30 frames per second anyway, they're not going to bump it up, even though they did for the Xbox One, PS4. Who knows how the standard Xbox One's going to handle it. I'm sure it's not going to be lock solid. Bloodborne was not a solid 30 on the PS4. So it's just, I don't know. I don't understand that, but it's just haters and all, and trolls anyway. But so just again, just kind of summarizing right now what we know. There's really the only game for sure that I can say 100% I'm buying that I know about on the Switch retail release. I'm not talking indies. Is Mario Tennis if it has online with friends. That's the only guarantee. Payday 2. I know T and Robert and I were kind of all talking about getting it and doing some heists, but that's going to happen 2-3 times, and then that's just like with Doom's online. So it has to be a really good game, a really good version. I have to see that game was a solid port and there's no major glitches, and I might get that. But I'm not a big Kirby fan. My favorite Kirby game of all time is Rainbow Curse on the Wii U. I played the original on the NES, didn't love it. I bought Epic Yarn on the Wii, got bored with it so really fast, and then I got Planet Robobot on the 3DS, and I got to the last world, and I was just like, you know what, this isn't fun. Like, these games are not fun to me. They're too slow-paced. There's really no platforming challenge. You've got to find stuff, that I don't love. The main driving force be finding stuff. That's why 3D Super Mario Odyssey wasn't number 2 on my list. Like, I like the game, I love the game, but finding stuff just always isn't the most fun thing for me. So I guess unless Kirby Allies, whatever it's called, Ally Stars or Allies, Star Allies, if somehow I was like, man, this game's pretty challenging, it's got some real legit platforming like Yoshi's Woolly World, then I'm going to buy it because I think it looks amazing. The art style looks awesome. It looks like Rainbow Curse meets Return to Dreamland on the Wii. Like, it looks like they mixed those two. Looks fantastic. It's 4-player co-op, but there's no online with that. That's kind of a misfire, I think. But I'm not one of those. Just because it has co-op doesn't mean it has to have online. That's the type of game you play with your kids and stuff and have fun. But I don't have kids, so I'm probably going to pass on that. So really, Payday 2 is a potential. Mario Tennis is a potential, depending on. I know this isn't the Wii U era, T, but like you said, I'm still. That Mario Tennis team has yet to prove that they can do online right. So there needs to be a really slick friends lobby system, and I'll get that game. It's just that simple because it looks like a more technical game. I like what the story mode looks interesting. I think it's the best looking Switch game I've seen based on the trailer. And then the other stuff, the Mario Odyssey DLC, free DLC, that's a cool little mode, very reminiscent of Gravity Rush 2's like photo treasure mode. And Mario Rabbids DLC, you're adding Donkey Kong, depending, like, I'd already have a feeling his moveset's going to be really cool. It depends on the length of it versus the price, but that's something I'm really considering. And then you got a bunch of indie games that are going to come out, and I think that's going to fill up my lineup. I'm probably going to be playing my PS4 a little bit more in the the first 3-4 months of this year that I plan to. But I think I'm going to pick up Wolfenstein, the original, remake, and if I like that, I think I'm going to pick up Wolfenstein 2 on the PS4. Because I got no real reason. That game's single player only. There's no reason for me to wait for the Switch and play it in 30 frames and blurry. Even though I am enjoying Doom, Doom plays like awesome on the Switch. Like, even at 30 frames per second, it still plays great. But I got a PS4, and the game's gonna be cheaper and looks and runs better. I might as well get that version. And OT, I haven't played Mario Tennis on the 3DS, so I don't know. I don't know how that worked. With joining friends and invites. I don't need invites. You just got to have a friends lobby where you can be in a match and people can kind of join and wait, maybe spectate, maybe like Mario Kart 8. That would be cool. And is it a 1-on-1 only? Is it 2-on-2? Could you pull arms and have like everybody in the lobby, and then it breaks people off into, hey, now you're playing Terrell, and now T's playing Retro Death, and I'm playing Collected or something, That would be cool, and I hope they kind of do something like that, because that would really be cool. So anyway, I'm not mad. I wasn't blown away by the direct. I'm not happy that it was a mini. But then you think about it. Nintendo's already got the momentum. Do they need to throw out a major direct in January if they don't have a bunch of new games coming till maybe end of May, June? I don't know. That's a question Nintendo's probably asked themselves, and they're probably working on it, and they already know when it's coming out. But we'll have to see. Does it make sense to lay everything out in January? I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I'd love to see some more, stuff sooner than later. And I'd like to know if I have more than one retail game from Nintendo to buy for the first half of the year. That would be nice. Because it would be kind of lame if that's it. And I'm not buying Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze again, even though, gotta say, looks pretty damn good in 1080p. You can't lie. That game looks really nice. And that higher resolution just really makes that game look great in 720. It looks so nice. Backgrounds, everything looks so nice in that trailer in 1080, but it's not enough to play it again. I can play it right now. My Wii U's hooked up. And maybe I will play it right now. It's one of the best 2D platformers ever. So last thing for anybody, if you didn't have a Wii U, to the Mohammeds in the chat, you have a Switch. I know you play a lot of your Switch and undocked, speaking to you personally, but everyone else, you didn't have a Wii U, you have a Switch. I can tell you right now, one of the best games ever made, Bayonetta 2. Buy that damn game. Best action game by far. One of the best games ever. Buy this damn game if you have a Switch and didn't have a Wii U. Don't buy this one. Sorry, Retro. I think that's silly. We got Fire Emblem Warriors. I think you don't do that to Fire Emblem Warriors by releasing Hyrule Warriors, even though you do get all the 3DS stuff that look kind of cool. But buy Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, for Lord's sake. That game barely sold 1 million on Wii U. It's one of the best 2D platformers, if not the best 2D platformers ever made. You're talking superb level design, superb controls, awesome music, some of the best visuals I've ever seen in a 2D game, even on the Wii U, but in 1080, it looks fantastic. 2-player co-op, super challenging, but you also can make it a little easier by buying things in the shop, that one-time use things that make it easier. And with Funky Kong, it looks like that's kind of an easier mode. Buy those damn games if you have not played them. I mean, I don't care about those people that didn't buy a Wii U and have a Switch. I don't give a shit about you people from the sake of, well, that's justification for all these ports. Like, I don't care about, I played this game 4 years ago. That doesn't, that's not why I don't care that Nintendo's doing it. Like, I'm not happy Nintendo's doing that for those people. You missed out 4 years ago on great games. You got a Switch now. Buy those damn games. I don't care if they sell great. Nintendo keeps making ports because I don't have to buy them. And just buy those damn games. Tropical Freeze should be up. New Super Mario Brothers Wii was an aberration in sales, but New Super Mario Brothers U sold like 5 million copies. Mario Maker sold 5 million, and both those games deserve to sell 5 million. They're both great games, but Tropical Freeze is a better game. And it's not. The character models are all 3D. Some of the cutscenes, it's all this 3D panning through, and then it lands on a 2D plane. And the fur on Donkey Kong and the other characters looks amazing. And it's like, what did Mohammed say? Oh yeah, 2 is so much better. God, I can't even play Bayonetta 1 after playing Bayonetta 2. It's almost impossible to play Bayonetta 1. It's so much better. The controls, Nintendo had a little hand in that making of that game. The controls in Bayonetta 2 are just perfect. There's no frustrating quick time bullshit from the first game. The visual style it's not all dreary and ugly looking. It's a really good looking game. Combo system, it's just fantastic. Like, don't make excuses. Oh, I played Bayonetta 1. Why would I? If you played Bayonetta 1 and you hated it, then Bayonetta 2 isn't going to do anything for you. But if you played Bayonetta 1 and liked it, why don't you say that about Forza 7? If you're going to say that about Bayonetta 2, why don't you say that about Forza 7? Well, I got Forza 6 and I got it 100%. You know, why would I need 7? It's not. It's a way better situation because it's a brand new game, and it's so much better. So anyway, go buy those games. I have no problem if they sell. I hope Donkey Kong Country sells over 1 million on the Switch. It's a fantastic game. I'd hope Nintendo wouldn't charge 60 for it because it was 50 on the Wii U. But it was worth $60. I always thought it was worth a $60 purchase. They charge 50. It would kind of suck if they did the Switch at 60 just because, you know, it's like the game was 4 years ago was only 50. Now it's 60. But you know, they did have to pay to port it and they did add the other stuff, but I wouldn't want to fully support that idea, but I'm just, again, it's worth $60 game. The content you get in it, the challenge, the expertise in level design and controls, it's definitely worth a full price. So we'll cross that bridge though when it gets announced. But no, if you haven't played those games, definitely check them out. All right, so I think that's going to be it. Didn't even plan on talking this long. I'm going to go play some video games. I haven't turned my Switch on since Monday. And actually, I'm going to have my Wii U on for the next couple hours. So I got to get back into Xenoblade. Took a little break. And, you know, I'm anxious to get back into that. But now I know I got some time because there's not going to be any heavy hitters coming out early in the year. So I kind of feel like I can take my time a little bit and, you know, not have to. I haven't been rushing, but I just feel like I got more time now. So, but anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. Had a good turnout. Appreciate you guys checking out this Juice Opinions, and let me know what you think in the comments if you're watching this on the upload on YouTube, and we'll see you guys next